Well, howdy ho everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So about 6 months ago, I was hearing some whining in my pipes. To fix that, I adjusted the pressure on my house water. So I've been checking on that periodically over the last couple of months, and when I checked on it most recently, I noticed water inside the water gauge itself, and I noticed that water was dripping a little bit on the floor. So it's definitely something I want to fix. Went down to my local big box store, bought one of these replacement pressure gauges. These are about $10 to $15 depending on which brand you choose. It's a really easy replacement. I'm going to show you how I did it. So let's get into it. So to replace this valve, you're going to want to shut the water off in two places. The first is going to be the valve from the street. So for me, that's this one. The second is the valve for the pipes in your house. So we're going to shut that off to keep the water from the lines coming back and coming out the hole once you take that pressure valve off. Okay, we're going to go ahead and remove the pressure gauge. We are going to have a towel at the ready because water will come out of here. Here's the new gauge. We're going to wrap some plumber's tape around that, and when you do that, you want to wrap the tape in the opposite direction that it threads in. That way, as you thread it in, it pushes the tape down and into place versus allowing it to unravel. Just like that. Now let's go ahead and get this installed. Okay, with that all taped up, we're just going to thread the new one in place, and then we'll tighten it down. Okay, with the new pressure gauge installed, we're going to turn the water back on. Go ahead and turn the street on. Then we'll turn the water to the house on. Now you will have some air in the lines, so we're going to go upstairs, we're going to flush the lines out, and then I'm going to come back down and I'm going to check the pressure. Okay, I'm going to make sure there's no leaking around that gauge. I don't feel any, and everything looks dry. I'll obviously be keeping an eye on that over the next couple of days. My pressure's pretty close to where I had set it with the other gauge. I had set it at about 60 pounds. That's showing about 55, but that'll probably settle out. That's also something I'll be watching over the next couple of days. Right after I noticed the water gauge was leaking, there was a couple of guys that came out to replace the water meter reader for the house. They were putting a new one in that, you know, gets red through radio signals or whatever. And I asked them about it. Their advice to me was that if it's not leaking, you don't need to replace it. Most of the ones they see are full of water anyway, and it's perfectly fine to just put a cap in there. Now, I wasn't comfortable doing that, especially since I had a squealing problem with my pipes already. I wanted a gauge, and I wanted it not to be leaking. Mine definitely was leaking, so something had to be done anyway. So I went ahead and replaced it. See that? All kinds of moisture inside it. You also notice, if you can see that gauge is almost totally bound up with calcium deposits or whatever inside there. So that was definitely problematic. Probably not giving me an accurate reading anyway. Definitely wanted to replace it. Hey, thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this useful. Here's the link to that video I talked about where I adjusted the pressure to deal with the pipe squealing. If you're having squealing pipes, definitely something you want to check out. As always, to all my brothers and sisters serving in harm's way around the world, you're always in my thoughts. Be safe out there. Till next time, everybody.